friends. Let us look at how uh, web UI is being integrated with Servlet in order to insert a record into a backend MySQL database. So for this, this is what is our menu where we have collected our JSP samples and Servlet examples here. Now we'll look at how web UI will work with the Servlet. Now web UI, the same way web UI we are going to consider, which we have used into JSP. So which contains three attributes, which reads the data of the three attributes: roll number, name, and age. Now but here for this particular demonstration, since we have worked with the database class, and where I have shown you like how you can generate a primary key for a particular table. So the same function we are going to use for generating a primary key. So we are not actually expected any input from the user as far as roll number is considered. So let us look at this. So the time we click on the UI servlet, it will give you this particular interface. In previous example, it was a input box is provided here, but now this is being generated automatically. Now what is expected, how this is being generated? Since a primary key is there, it has a number of records. The student roll number is of type integer. So if it has say n number of record, and the n is the value of roll number, then the next subsequent roll number should be n plus 1, so which is sequential. So by looking at that example, in that scenario, we have to find out the max of the roll number, and that has to be added with 1, so in order to get the new value. So this roll number is being generated automatically. The user will provide student name and the age here. Now let us try to understand it. So now I don't know what is my roll number now. See, for example, Praveen Yannavar is the user, is the student, and the age is 41. Now the time you submit, the time you click on save record, what is going to happen? It will make a call to web UI insert. So which is inserting a row into a target table, and the target table name is student. So it is creating a row into a student. Let us look at this. Now I'm going to click on the save. Now by save, what is going to happen? The values that are submitted through the web UI are like student roll number. It is being generated automatically. It has collected uh, Praveen Yannavar as a student name, and student age is 41. Now the status is connected. That is just to understand, okay, whether we are getting it properly or not. Now look at here how the query is going to look like. So query is insert into student values 2003. Now 2003 we haven't submitted 2003. It is being generated automatically. Now student name and age, these only 2 points we have submitted, two inputs we have submitted. The student roll number is 2003. Now let us get back to this database view. You'll come to know this is our servlet show table content, which we have discussed into the previous videos. Now look at here, the maximum the table row is containing 2003, which means that if I insert the next record student will get a roll number as 2004. Now let us try to go for it. Now again I'm going to click on this servlet. This is again generated automatically, so I'm going to put here with a new name, say Ganesh Shinde. Now his age is say 38. Say for example, and I'm going to click on save record. Now look at here, this is going to get 2004, so which means it works properly. Now let's look at the code part of it, so in order to understand this. Okay, so your web UI needs a web form, and that web form is this my web form.jsp is your web form. So this web form is being handled look at here, this waveform is being handled by a servlet called web UI insert. So this servlet is handling the waveform. So now look at, this is my waveform, this is my waveform, this is my waveform, and here uh, here the method is post and action is web UI insert. So since it is roll number is generated automatically, only S name and S age is being taken. So if you look at this, you will find that if you look at this, you'll find that it will, this servlet at line number 48 and 49, it reads the name and age only, right, and bring out the information into a tabular fashion, which we have already seen. And for working with the database library, what we need to have in line number 22 and 23, that is my database library object and the status of the connection. So we are using the same, and which I have already discussed into some of my previous videos, where we have created a database class and we have used it for selecting purpose. So the same logic we are going to use it here. If you look at here, that this 48 49 reads the parameter of a form. Here at 53, here we have created an object of a database library class, and if the connection is true, then it will generate a primary key. Now look at here how this is going to generate a primary key. Look at here now, this is really very good. See, at line number 57, what you have done is you have created a primary key value. So that is this generate primary key is the function, which generate primary key is the function which is written into a database class, which takes two parameters. One is the table name and the second is the attribute name. So by this you can generate any primary key with respect to a table. So it generates that primary key. Since this function is returning string value, it is being stored into S row. Now the query is being formed. The query is being executed here. If you look at here, the database function which we have created as execute, insert, update, delete. So that function get executed and SQL being executed here. Now this is how my database class means. If we created a class, this enriches the uh, code, and the servlet will become more easy, because it is not necessary that every time you need to go and connect to a database. What connect to a database provide everywhere specification on and everything. If it is like, see, if in every page or in every servlet, if you are putting this information of username, password and host, so it is very difficult if you change your database from one location to another location, say, or if at all you change the name of the database, you need to replicate everywhere. So the beauty of the class is that the change has to be done at one place only, and that is into the class itself. So this is how you can uh, uh, store a particular record into a table. Now in the next video, I'm going to tell you about how an update is going to happen and how delete is going to happen into the next subsequent videos. Now in this case, if you have got any questions, you can write those questions to me so that I can give you the answer. Thank you for watching this video.